Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show. I hope you like looking at my laundry. It's a pivotal part of my background today. Do you guys remember back in the day when my entire background was just Mountain Dew cans? Ugh, those were good times. I literally cannot drink that much Mountain Dew anymore. I'm like an old lady. It's so sad. I was so close to that Mountain Dew sponsorship and then I just lost it all. I let it slip away. Anywho, so apparently Guild Wars 2 is now a thing. Somebody has already hit level 80, but I kind of love that the entire response from the community is, well, he didn't really experience the game, you know? He just went through and leveled. He didn't really play Guild Wars 2. Which, despite my whiny dude voice, I totally agree with, and I think that it's silly that people would rush to get to level 80. Although, at least then you have that badge, right? You can be like, oh yeah, I hit level 80, totally posted it on a forum. But overall, it sounds like people are really enjoying it. They like it a lot, especially the intro areas, which is kind of rare, I think. Anywho, for gaming news, we talked about Molyneux's Curiosity game, and now it's been revealed that it's an iPhone game where you have to try to figure out what's inside of a cube, so we know what the game is, even though it hasn't been released yet. Despite the fact that we still don't have Curiosity, they're already planning out their next game, which is called Cooperation, which I'm sure involves cooperation in some sense. Here's what his quote was. Are you guys ready? He said, "If you think of curiosity being the biggest mystery posted to the digital world, cooperation is the biggest cooperative effort the world has ever known." More cooperative than the Estonian singing revolution? That's right, I went there. I don't know guys, Molyneux likes to be all mysterious. We didn't even know what Curiosity was until very recently, and it was supposed to be released not too long ago, so I guess we'll see. We'll see how Curiosity does. Either way, if they're planning on making Cooperation regardless of how Curiosity does, that'll be interesting. What I love is that he's talking about it like it's going to change the world. And I know he has a good sense of humor about it because if you watch his interactions with Molyneux, it's hilarious. So I guess in the end, we can sit back and say, he loves games, and that's awesome to have people who love games making games. If you're a person who loves the secret world or has wanted to get into it, you might know that issue 2 was supposed to come out in 2 days, but unfortunately they've had to push it back. It's actually going to come out September 11th now. It's an interesting scenario because I don't think anybody is surprised that this is being pushed, considering that Funcom has had to kind of rearrange their entire staff. But what I do think is interesting is that they said that they are for sure planning on continuing to release little bits of content for the game as a whole. Now of course, because we're all salty and cynical, a lot of the response to that was, we'll see. You have a lot smaller staff now, I wonder if you can keep up the pace. But to be fair, Secret World is kind of a labor of love. It feels like a lot of people who got together and said, yo, we should make this, I think that it would be a cool game. And maybe that love is something that will allow them to continue to make things. Either way, it's not like Riders of Rohan where they were in beta and they saw that there were all of these issues and they decided to go back and fix everything because they were completely changing the battle system. It was nothing like that. It's just, they need time to readjust, to reorganize. And I don't think it's too much to ask that we give them time to do that because Secret World seems like the longer that they work on it and the more that they put into it, the cooler it's gonna be. And I know that everybody's sitting around waiting for it to go free to play or for it to fail, but I honestly hope that it does well. As a final bit of news, any of you who have been interested in or have been in the beta for Chris Hecker's SpyParty, they are redesigning all of the characters. It's interesting because right now, the whole game is so basic, like it's very interesting. For those of you who don't know what SpyParty is, the idea of it is that there are 20-some people inside of a room that are kind of milling around having a party, right? One player plays the spy, who has all of these different tasks to go through and complete, and then another player is an assassin or a sniper that is outside looking in and tries to spot the person who is actually controlled by a human being. I think that it's been expanded to this point, and correct me if I'm wrong, but other people within the place can be humans, but there's still only going to be one spy. I and many others love the idea of this because it's all very based on subtlety. Like, the things that you have to do aren't blow up a building or shank a guy. It's like, take one book from one shelf and put it on the other shelf, or give a piece of paper to this person, right? Just really small things that the sniper has to try to look for. And the more that they work on the game, the more that they're trying to expand it so that you don't know exactly what to look for, so that you have to really pay attention. So at this point, it's just 2 dudes instead of 1 dude. It's Chris Hecker and John Cimino, and they've been working on redesigning all of the characters. But the funny thing is that the people who have been involved in the beta and playing it a lot have gotten really attached to the really badly rendered characters. So where Hecker had initially planned on just replacing all of the characters and keeping the original names, since everybody is so attached and connected to them at this point, he's decided, okay, you know, I think that we're gonna have to give everybody new names. It's going to be treated as though they are entirely new characters. Joystick actually has an article up where you can see the newly rendered characters. The difference is astounding. It's so completely different from the original ones. But I like it because it's not super realistic, but it's not super cartoony either. It's like right in the middle, which I think is smart. Anywho, the redesigns aren't gonna be involved in the game for quite a while, but they have talked about it and they've released pictures, etc., etc. This is a game that I've thought for a while would be really fun, and I love that it started as just this interesting passion project that kind of took on a life of its own. So I hope that it winds up doing well, and I hope that they're able to continue working on it as much as they have. Anywho, that is my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section, or if you'd like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope that you guys had an amazing weekend. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to put a video up on Friday or Saturday. The universe was working against me, but I am here now, I'm back to you, and I will talk to you again on Wednesday. Okay, bye-bye. Mwah. That's right, I went there.